the league, west and east. Maybe 15 through the high school graduated there. So number one, I want to thank you for what you do. Kids, I know how much time you volunteer every year fighting snowstorms today. So thank you. I appreciate it in terms of what you do for kids, what you do for us as a high school. That needed a lot of rides when I was young. I know how much that other stuff you have to do. As we go through this, I kind of crammed what we did in 2 sessions into one last year. So I'm going to kind of be going through some of the stuff quickly. I know a lot of the same faces. A lot of you guys saw this stuff last year. It's nothing new. It's nothing earth-shattering. Okay, just some basics that, you know, working with the guys in RBI in the field is helpful. If we can teach those things at a different level, hopefully we'll all be more successful that way. If you have questions, please stop me. If there's anything that if we're talking about something and I don't mention it, something question you have, please ask. And maybe more importantly, I know there's some guys in here that have far more experience coaching little league players than I do. And so if you see something that works, hey, this is a drill that I did, okay, work on that, please throw that in, okay? I don't want it just to be me talking and you listening. Hopefully it can be interactive on both ends, so you get as much out of this as you can. When I'm done, obviously I'm going to try to leave some time at the end for questions. So again, if there's there, but again, please don't feel the need to wait until the end to do that. I will be at bouncing around between that and both clinics today. So if you see me and you've got another question, please feel free to ask. I'm going to be doing infield and outfield today, doing hitting
and base running next week.
Base running next week, and then pitching.
Catching.
The Sunday after that. So those are the topics that we'll be going through. But again, if you have something on any issue you see me, just stop me and ask me. Do whatever I can to get your questions answered. Okay? All right. I'm going to start with outfield play. And I know the biggest issue when you do this is different coaching the real little guys, you know, compared to the upper end. And so, as I go through this, I know some stuff isn't applicable to your level. You say, hey, I can't do that with, you know, with second graders, and I get that, you know. But I've tried to break things down, hopefully enough that everybody at every level can take something away from this and get there. In terms of outfield play, and it's probably most important at your level is keeping the outfielders involved in the game. It's easy to be out there and to be drifting and staring at the parking lot, thinking about everything else other than the game. And our kids get that way. We had a Legion game last summer where I had a kid looking down and staring out in the street. That's the guy like the 90 out there. So just like on the infield, we want their feet moving every time, every pitch. Just like we want our infielders to be moving up towards the infield as we go. All right, we want the outfielders, right, just get their feet moving every time. Because it's an easy way for them to make sure they're the pitch, their feet are moving, they're ready to adjust, react to anything, and it's easy for you as a coach to look out and see every time, hey, their feet are moving, I know they're thinking about what's coming next, they're ready to react. You know, we get a little more technical in terms of the high school, in terms of what we want those steps to look like and how, but I think if you can just get their feet moving, I think that'll be helpful. Tracking the baseball, the biggest thing we fight, and I know the biggest thing you fight, is what I call drifting to the baseball. And I know, again, in Little League, I think if you get somebody that can catch a fly ball, it's a big, you know, how they do it is probably not important to one point. But for the older kids, to start working on that. And the biggest issue we have is kids that still want to catch the ball back in the okay? They put themselves over here, they lose sight of the ball, right? In terms of errors in the outfield, at your level, at our level, that's the biggest one we see. The last couple steps up here, the ball tips out the glove, and that's the one they miss. And so we really focus on trying to talk about getting behind the baseball. So every time as they're catching the ball, ideally, right, they're moving in, right, catching on the way in, not doing this. And so we always just use the term get behind the baseball, get behind the baseball. The easiest way to work on that is probably just to sit and flip up the baseball. It's hard from a fungo, it's hard to be 100 feet away getting fly balls to really get kids to work on that because number one, we're not that good at being able to hit those nice, easy, routine fly balls that we want to work on. And so just taking the time to get the kids aligned, throw up nice, easy ones, work on just coming through, catching the ball. I'll talk about catching in a second. And to do that. And then the same thing. And then the other thing that we've done that's been real nice for good reps is just take a tennis racket and a tennis ball. Because you can get a pretty accurate flight of the baseball and kind of put it where you want to in doing this. You can get it up in the air. It's not going to wear your arm out. It's tough to sit and throw 50 baseballs up in the air for kids. That's tough on you. And so just taking a tennis racket, right, nice and easy, knocking them out, give them that chance to kind of feel that routine one. And then again, you can, as you get into it, if you want to work on the ball over your head or left and right, do the same thing, get in the line, I can knock it that way. So you get a lot of good reps with the tennis ball. And I know it's easy for the tennis ball to bounce out of the glove. That's fine. I mean, if you're working on footwork and getting to the baseball and tracking it, if they get there and everything right, it pops out the tennis ball. That's what you have to deal with. Okay. We talked about, and there's some stuff in there, there's a lot of stuff in there I won't get to, so if you want to look at that. The other thing in terms of going after the baseball is to get rid of that back pedal. Anything hard hit, we don't want the first step to be this. It's not fast, it gets it into that mode. We always work on crossover. So if the ball's over here, I'm going to drop here, crossover, start running with the baseball, same thing, and drop and cross that way. And again, get him the line, have to work on it. Okay, hey, ball's over your left, right, back deep, drop step, crossover, start running. So just to get him out of that mode of putting the glove up and start running this way. We want him to run with the baseball, not do this until the very end. And again, I know you get that as soon as they see it in the air. And we get it. Hopefully not the varsity. We get 9th and 10th graders that are the same way. They want to put the glove up and run. It just slows it down. So just to teach them to run, keep their arms pumping until they have to put that glove up in the air when they're tracking. And again, so I would get in the line, I'd get a tennis racket, some tennis balls, and just kind of sit and work on all those things. Deep fly ball, getting behind it, coming in, right? Ball deep, left and right, going at it. A far one, make them run, okay? And it's nice to be close. It's hard to coach from home plate, yelling out to the outfielders about all these things. If you're out there close and working with them, I think it's going to be more useful to you. So, any questions on tracking the baseball? Anything that you've seen, issues that I didn't talk about that you think fix it? Okay. Catching the baseball. Again, and for us, a good catch starts with tracking the ball well. We always talk about that. It's really just as much footwork as it is anything else. Okay, it's our feet that screw up. Anytime we have a bad catch, it usually starts with, our first 2 steps. We didn't get a good jump. Okay, we drifted, whatever else. And so the footwork for us is probably the most important in terms of catching the ball. But in terms of catching what we want on the routine one, okay, and again, they're not all routine. Sometimes you just got to do what you can to get there and catch it. But on the routine one, obviously we want 2 hands. Okay, we want 2 hands up in the air catching, right? We want the glove, right, over our head, right, to our arm side. Okay, so I've got the glove open here. Right, what we don't want is this. What we don't want on the routine one is this one, because that's when it ends up coming down and they drop it this way. Okay, they're catching it here, it's falling out. Right, if I can keep the glove vertical, I can keep it over here. Right, I've got a little more cushion. I've got a basket, which is the land. Okay, I've got my other hand on. Obviously, catching with 2 hands, it's kind of difficult. And so we always talk about, over your glove shoulder, high, get it out here, keep your eyes visible, and catch with 2 hands. And we battle 2 hands just like you do. Our kids watch, they watch the pros and they think that they look cool, when they're doing this. And it drives me nuts. And we battle it, We'll sit kids and do whatever else we have to get to figure that out. We just always use the term, there are no style points. On the scoreboard that says, hey, we look good when you did it. Okay? get that ingrained in your head. It's just good baseball. There are major league guys there are some good ones that do that. If you can get some tape of those guys and show that, that's fine. But that's about it. I love watching baseball on TV. That's the one thing. You watch outfielders and just kind of, and again, I always tell the kids, they're the best in the world. And they get away with being sloppy because they're super athletes. And so, battle with your hands, if you can. Okay? Feeling the ground ball. And I think it's very applicable to your level. You know, we always, with our kids, we have to get into a situation of, is it single, nobody on, that's one situation. Runner on second, where I have to come up and be able to throw, that's another situation. I don't think at your level, your kids are probably ready for that. Okay, I know your cutout system is probably just get it into the shortstop, okay, and then let them be able to get it in quickly and do that. So we do some different stuff in terms of fielding the ball, but I'm going to focus on stuff that I hope will make some sense to you. Right? We talk about routine ball single, right? We're down on one knee, just like you are. We play on some bad fields. We play where we can't get true hops. We can't count on the true hop. Okay, so every time, right, we've got a chance on a routine ground ball. Okay, we're simply going down, right? Like one knee, just like you. Okay, nice and big. Okay, I keep my chest out, flat on the ball. Okay, I'm in the field here and step up and go through. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Like I said, our kids do that on a certain field. When we go to South State Fall, we'll talk about that before the game. Okay, everything's on the knee. Routine ball, we're on the knee. We're going to field it. We're going to knock it down. We're going to get it in. It sounds simple, but we have to do it. Throwing the ball again. I don't know. Maybe the oldest kids you have. This is the issue. Something you can work on, maybe not, but we always work on the throw hop. In terms of throwing the baseball, we leave the throw hop. The issue we get is our outfielders want to get rid of the ball too quickly. They don't want to get their feet set. They want to catch the ball and they want to throw wrong-footed because they feel like they're in a rush. And I know I've seen your games. You see the same thing. Right? It's in a panic. Everybody's yelling, get it in, get it in. They just want to pick it up. Right? Their chest is open, their feet aren't set, and wheel the ball. And it ends up going out here. And you're chasing it. So we always talk about take that extra half second to get yourself set up, to get your shoulders turned, okay, to get your eye on the target, and make a good throw. Okay? Make a good, strong, accurate throw that's better for us than that quick, wild throw to be rushed and to be in panic. We talk about the crow hop with us. The crow hop for us, assuming you're a right-handed thrower, left-hand obviously, everything is different. But as we catch the ball, and that means on a ground ball, that means on a fly ball that we're coming in on, anything like that. Okay? As we move forward, okay, we want to end up jumping off our left foot. Okay? We're going to jump off the left. And how many steps you take to get there to do that is, to me, it's unimportant. I'd rather have them take that extra step and again get their momentum going that way, get their body going that way, and get going and make a good throw. So to not be in a hurry to get there. So as we catch it, again, okay, kind of gather. When they get to the left, okay, we want to jump up off the left. Okay, and as I jump up off the left, I'm going to be turning in the air. And so I come up, okay, I jump up and I turn. Right, so I push off with the left. As I'm doing that, my right foot is going to get turned. Right, and so when I land, okay, I land in that good feeling, right, in that good position where my shoulders are going to be directed towards the target. Okay, and so that step right there, just having to take that time, okay, jump, land, and get set, it gives them some momentum. Okay, especially at your level where your arms aren't that great out there, they need that extra help to get the ball in. It gets their shoulders turned, and so